Hi, my name's Art Noble, and I'm the author of The Sacred Female and an expert in the technical aspects of sexual love and sexual biology. Now, last video we spoke of female prostatic ejaculation, and in this one we're going to talk about orgasmic urinary bladder discharge. Well, the guy stood before the judge and said, "She pees all over me when we make love." And the judge granted him a divorce. Now, that was a California case back in the 1970s. At first, it is not pee, but it does come from the urinary bladder. But it is not pee. We'll get into the science later, but first, let's look at this diagram.
Now, the urinary bladder is just a specialized container designed primarily to hold urine. Now, this trickles down from the kidneys through the ureter, where toxins like ammonium and urea are removed from the bloodstream, along with some good stuff like unused amino acids. Now, note that it has a muscle sheath around it. Another thing about the bladder is it does not have a mucus lining, and like a smooth dish is easy to rinse. Now, normally the process for urination is simply a pressure differential between the elastic bladder and the urethra. When the bladder is about 25% full, the pressure is felt and we can go to the bathroom. When it reaches capacity, all the squeezing down in the world isn't going to stop it for long. Ask anybody after their first six-pack, and it seems like it'll never stop. So remember, ladies, quit squeezing down.
Okay, so let's let this measuring cup represent the urinary bladder, and we've got some colored water in here, and we'll go to the bathroom. Yep, just like that. Now, next, we'll engage in sex and let her kidneys start doing some rapid processing, filling up the bladder with a clear fluid, and it comes out in waves. Yeah. Well, or gushes out. Now, the next thing is, we want to make sure that we've gone to the bathroom, or that she's gone to the bathroom before, because if there's a little urine left in the bladder, when she starts producing the other fluid, it'll just mix in, and we're getting a little bit of pee in there. Not good. Okay, so ladies, make sure you go before you come. Now, from this, we get a bunch of questions asked, at least I'm asking them. Now, why does sex stimulate the kidneys? Well, the answer is it's idiopathic. Now, that word is science speak for damn if I know. And, well, next one is, where does this fluid come from? Again, idiopathic. But remember, women are infamous for water retention. So this could be just a mechanism for sucking out some of that water. Whoopee, yeah. Now, how come they get so much so quick? Women are fantastic creatures, and that's about all I can say. Other than that, it's idiopathic. Now, what causes the waves? Well, remember that we had a muscle sheath around the urinary bladder. An orgasm is associated with involuntary muscle contractions. So it's not unthinkable that this muscle would also be undergoing contractions and squeezing the fluid out. Now, next question. I'm a guy. I've got a urinary bladder. Why can't men do this? Jesus. We can't even go to the bathroom with a morning glory until we flick it on the bottom or wait a while for it to go down. So we're just not built for it. And also, let's face it, a woman's vagina is a very fantastic, you have no idea yet, but it also a sensitive area. I mean, some women are even allergic to their husband's sperm. Well, bottom line, we have three things here. One, like I said, we're not built for it. They are. Two, um, if it's yellow or yellow tinged, it's probably got a little pee in it. And three, it's a great way for cleaning out a woman's kidneys. Now, on to the science. Now, this discharge probably occurred with Neanderthal women, but it was not until 1984 when Desmond Heath did his paper. I got to read this title. An investigation into the origins of a copious vaginal discharge during intercourse, enough to wet the bed that is not urine. Well, at least he knew it wasn't urine. And it may have been a vaginal discharge. We haven't got to that one yet. But this isn't, obviously. It's urethral. Now, 28 years later, Dr. Emanuele Giannini, just recently, here in 2012, published his paper, which is titled New Insights from One Case of Female Ejaculation. Now, remember, there are 3.5 billion women on the planet. They're all different, and this is just one case. Now, what he did is he analyzed morning urine for 5 days before the experiment. Come time, he inserted a Foley catheter into the bladder, and the Foley catheter's got a bulb on the end that seals off the bladder from the urethra. Okay? The woman then masturbated, and he collected 127 milliliters, about a half a cup, of fluid. And that's the same amount I was using in the demonstration. What was important here is that prostatic ejaculation followed this discharge. Okay? Now, when the fluid was analyzed, it had less than 1/2 of the urea content as the morning urine sample, and subsequent discharging orgasms would probably show even less. So here we have 2 for 1, and in the next video you'll see there may be more. Now, ancient Hindus called female orgasmic discharge amrita, which is nectar of the gods. Now, I don't know if it referred specifically to the urinary bladder discharge or prostatic ejaculate or a combination of all of them. But the word amrita also means a technique for increasing the volume of these discharges. I guess the more the merrier for the ladies. Now, some experts suggest putting a towel down. I guess that's good for a start. But I would suggest a flannel back tablecloth covered with an old sheet upon which is laid 3 or 4 beach towels. That ought to do the trick. Plus, later, you can just rip them off the bed, throw them in the washer, snuggle up together, and get a good night's sleep in a dry bed. Well, thank you for watching. Have a great day.